If you come to the GitHub page, you'll find the project files we created last time here. So I will continue to hold lectures related to React Native in the future, and I will set up a community here each time. And for each lecture, I will tag them so that you can distinguish the videos and you can refer to the code by looking at the corresponding tags. Now we are back in VS Code. I am now trying to install the development packages that are here. As you can see, the types package is related to React and is used for type checking and syntax validation. And in my case, when I build UI components, I use something called styled components. Styled components, packages that provide type support for styled components in React Native. And when developing, we use a tool called ESLint for syntax checks and other validations. You don't need to worry about GraphQL here. I included GraphQL because I use it a lot, but you don't need to have it. As for Husky, I now manage my code with Git, and it's necessary for code management with Git. For example, when you give a git commit command, Husky allows you to run a script before the commit is applied, enabling you to perform some checks. The mint stage is somewhat similar. When we modify a file, it works in a comparable way. You can think of it as a type of package that allows you to only check the modified files. When we work on the code, there can be instances where the indentation and other aspects get all mixed up, right? It's a package that helps organize things more neatly. In the case of styled components, I use CSS style sheets even within React Native. It checks for any syntax errors or issues related to that. If you press Command J on these, they will be grouped into one line. So I can group this into one line like this, and then in my case, I can use yarn from the palette. It's yarnadd, a versatile tool that you can easily input as a development package in your project setup like this. For those who might be entering via the command line interface or CLI, you can input it as yarnadd, and this will effectively add the necessary packages to the development side of your project. This ensures that all development dependencies are properly managed and integrated, providing a seamless development experience. The packages have been installed. Next, there are configuration files needed for each package, so let's add those. First of all, in my case, regardless of the packages here, I also use something related to editor configuration as an extension. So here, if you input config, you can maintain a common setting for indentation, line breaks, and other aspects when modifying code in VS Code. I am using an editor config setting file. Next, I have the .eslintignore file. In my case, I use ESLint here by default, which helps catch syntax errors in JavaScript and TypeScript. If there are files for which I don't want to check the syntax, I can add them here. The default ESLint settings are like this, but I configure it in this way for my use. However, it seems that GraphQL is not added right now. In my case, I set up the configuration file like this. This is a bit long as well, but I will upload it to Git, so please take a look at that and refer to it. Next, when you create a React Native project, a Git in your file is automatically generated. While you can use most of it, as is in general terms, however, in my case, specifically speaking, I need to additionally exclude certain directories such as the Visual Studio Code folder, along with any files related directly towards AWS services usage for example, purposes only, I have to add my own exclusions like this accordingly. Then regarding Prettier RC, as I mentioned earlier on previously stated occasions before now, it modifies your code accordingly. In the specific case of Prettier, the terminology as we know it has indeed changed over time.
The same line has changed like this, and in my case, I set semi to false and configure it this way. You can try doing it the same way I do, and if you want something different, you can make slight adjustments. Next, there is a computer file related to TypeScript here, which is the tsconfig JSON. In my case, this is the default setting, but I modify it like this for my use. Of course, you can adjust it according to your needs, but I have been developing using this method, so my settings are like this. I will also upload this to Git. The necessary configuration files are roughly set up, and if you go into the package JSON, there is a section for scripts. In this section, I personally add and modify a few more items. So here, we add commands related to Prettier, mint style sheets such as formatting rules, linting configurations, and style guide enforcement, and so on, along with the commands for generating APKs, which include compiling the code, signing the APK, and optimizing it for performance, installing APKs on various devices, and uninstalling APKs when they are no longer needed. In this case, the package name is different. Originally, it would probably be set as com.serial.com, which is a placeholder for the actual application identifier used during development. And although we might not cover it this time, it is likely that in future sessions, we will delve deeper into advanced topics such as automated testing, continuous integration, and deployment strategies, which are crucial for maintaining a robust development workflow. In this way, I have set up a comprehensive script to open the iOS project, ensuring that all necessary configurations are meticulously prepared and aligned with our project requirements. This script is designed to streamline the development process by automating repetitive tasks and reducing manual errors. Then, regarding the lint stage we added earlier, I configured it to perform specific tasks only on the files we worked on, which enhances efficiency and maintains code quality. This means that the Prettier and ESLint tools will only run on the file extensions JS, JSX, TS, and TXX for the files we have worked on, ensuring that our code adheres to the defined style guidelines and is free of syntax errors. Finally, we need to add Husky. If you run npm install Husky, the Git hooks will be installed here, which helps in managing pre-commit hooks effectively, ensuring that all team members adhere to the same coding standards and practices. So, when you do a Git commit, it intercepts the commit before it happens to trigger specific actions. This interception allows developers to automate tasks that need to be completed before a commit is finalized, ensuring code quality and consistency. For example, if you run npx husky add pre-commit, it will intercept and execute actions before the commit. This means that any scripts or checks you have configured will run automatically, saving you from having to remember to do them manually. If you type npm test and hit enter, it will be added here. Running npm test ensures that all your tests pass before the code is committed, preventing broken code from being pushed to the repository. You can also add yanint staged here, so when you run the commit command, it will execute only for the modified files. This is particularly useful for large projects where running tests on all files would be time-consuming. In my case, I usually keep the source code in a separate folder, so I will put it in src and move it there. Organizing your code in this way helps maintain a clean project structure and makes it easier to manage. It automatically changed here, reflecting the new organization. At this moment, I am planning to convert all the text within the files to lowercase. This decision is based on the need for consistency and uniformity across all documents. Therefore, I will ensure that every file within the folder is kept in lowercase format. This approach will help in maintaining a standardized format, which is crucial for both readability and organization. By doing so, we can avoid any potential confusion or...
Now, I will explain the extensions again in the next session, and since the settings related to Prettier and ESLint are already configured, when I press the shortcut key, these things will automatically change according to those settings. Next, I added ftxx and included it in src under aptx, and here in index it has changed like this in src. ftxx is a new feature that we are integrating into the system. It is placed under the aptx directory in the source code, and its presence is reflected in the index file. This change is significant because it alters the way the source code is structured. Now, if we just format it in this state, the semicolon here has disappeared, and since styles come after, this is what is happening. When we format the code in its current state, the semicolon, which is crucial for the syntax, disappears. This is due to the styles being applied after the formatting process, which affects the final output. By addressing this issue, we are able to identify and correct errors more efficiently. So it seems like we have caught the errors by pulling it forward. As you can clearly see, there are absolutely no errors when I type the command yarn mint. However, if there happens to be any problem with my code, if you commit in a state like this, where errors are indicated in red and you are unaware of the errors, Husky, a tool designed to improve code quality, will run a hook before the git commit and execute lint stage. A hook in Git is a script triggered by certain events, automating tasks. As you can see, if there are no errors, the git commit will continue to complete successfully, but if there are errors like now, they will be displayed like this, preventing the commit from proceeding and allowing you to address the issues before finalizing the commit. In this scenario, we are encountering an error that is associated with the styles configuration in our project. This issue is crucial to address to maintain the smooth functioning of our system. To tackle this problem, we need to carefully review and adjust the style settings, making sure all necessary changes are applied. After implementing these modifications, I will attempt to commit the changes again, ensuring that everything is correctly configured and the error is resolved. This careful approach will help us maintain the integrity of our project and prevent similar issues from occurring in the future. There are no errors now, right? Since there are no errors, the git commit has been completed, so I just need to push. And originally, while I was developing, I would add various development packages and general packages. This time, I added the necessary development packages, moved the code, and tested it to show you. In this session, I explained the necessary development packages within the React Native project. In the next session, I will explain the necessary extensions to properly use these development packages in VS Code. Then I will see you next time.